Hey guys, this is Van again from Hunky Junk Model Garage. This is the third video I've done today. I hope I get enough time to be able to get them all uploaded tonight before I go to work. If not, I'll upload one or two tonight and then get the other one tomorrow. But this is the final on the ratrod community build that Nick and Heath put on. I finally got this thing done. I came up short on the deadline, but I think after you see what I've got done here so far, you'll see why. You've been seeing some of the pictures on Facebook of the truck, and I have built something else along with this build to go along with it. Just give it a little extra detail. So let me get this thing panned up and I'll show you exactly what I've got. Excuse me fellas, I had to get me a drink of water. Oh, my mouth gets dry, me being a diabetic and everything. So alright, I apologize for the shaking, but this is my build for the community rat rod build. This is the Confederate. As you can see, I scratch built a little camper. It's got stovepipe with a little bit of smoke coming out of it. I just used a little bit of cotton for that. I've got the screen wire. I'll zoom in here where you can see it just a little bit better. There we go. I used some 1/8 inch thick PVC for the camper on the sides, and then a for sale sign for the top. I used some air conditioning duct tape for to cover the top, and I took a sponge and a little bit of liquid plumber and just dabbed here and there, and it made it look like it's oxidized. Of course, you know how they used to do on the older trailers. They would throw tires up on top of it to keep the wind from rattling the roof. I've got those on there. Got them tied down with some rope, and I put balsa wood on the sides. Cut each individual plank out to go on the sides of the camper. I used a drinking straw out of a cup, a plastic cooler cup, and that's what I made my stovepipe out of. The awning right there is the tarp part is actually a scrap piece of tarp that I had left over, and I think the camper looks awful good. I've got the screen wire. I've got it pulled up off of one side where it looks like it's just come loose or something's tried to get in it or out. I guess this one right here is not so much as a camper as a mobile moonshine still, I reckon, since it's pretty redneck. Let me get into here and I'll stop this thing from turning, and we'll zoom in a little bit closer on it, and you can see the better details that I've got done here. Alrighty. There we go. As an extra added thing, right there on the door, like the old outhouses used to be, they had a half moon cut in the door for the window. I've done that. White walled the tires. I completely scratch built the frame for the trailer, and I'll show you that here in just a little bit, along with the bottom of the truck. But I got one white wall tire right up here, and the rest of the others is just old. They're all just old junk ones. Now then, let's move over to the truck. Okay. This truck really turned out great. As y'all remember, I told you before I started, I bought a bunch of these cabs. I think I got 6 of them for $1 each at the Middle Tennessee show, and that's the only reason why I bought them, was just to build rat rods out of. It's just a crazy different platform, I guess, what I was going for. But I painted this thing, I think it's pumpkin orange, and I used the acrylic folk art. It's pumpkin orange, and put red oxidized primer under it, and sanded through a little bit of the paint, and then I took the sophisticated finishes and done the rusting on it. I've got, after I got the rust and everything done and the color that I wanted, I put some dust. I got a rust and dust kit from Micromark, and I just dusted it on there, and then I sprayed it with flat clear, Krylon clear. The 01 is the actual decal from the General Lee kit, but the flag up here on top, I had to custom print that one because the original one out of the kit was too big. And you know, these models right here, these are, I think, are an MPC body. They're notorious for the windows not fitting too well, especially the windshield. So what I've done, I just took me some small strips of duct tape and put right here on this corner, and I done it over here on on this corner right here too, right there, and that pretty well took care of the problem. Now on the front of the truck, sorry for the shaking, guys. I'm got to get me a new tripod. This thing's old. It's not working too well. But anyways, here on the front, I took an old tire, and I cut it up, and I used straight pins to put in for like nails to hold it to this piece of wood that I made. I got my garage tag on it, and then I got a piece of rope right here where it come loose from, or the bumper come loose from the truck, and they just tied a piece of rope on it for time being. Of course, you know how redneck's time being is. That turns out to be forever. I got the engine all wired and plumbed. I got a fuel block right here feeding the carburetors, and there's a fuel line comes off of it and goes down to the fuel pump. Got the top and bottom radiator hoses on it. I even got my starter wired up. Got my battery wired. My headers, I don't know if you can really see them down in there or not. Let me try to zoom in right there. Let's see. Alright, right there's the headers I made. I used solder. I made me some cheeseburger headers for it. And I run them over, and it is run out the fender. And I used a piece of brass tubing just to give it an outlet right there. These wheels right here are They're the chrome wheels, chrome steelies that come out of the 53, 54 Bel Air kit. I used those and then painted my white walls on the tires and rusted and dusted them. The big tires right back here in the back, they're that's what come from the Dirty Donnie Super B kit. These are not the kit tires. I made a mold of those where I can mold my own. Now then, I put a whiskey keg back here and got the fuel line running right there. Got the fuel line running into it. I think it made a pretty decent fuel tank. I'll get you a little closer here. If you can see on the back of this tail light, that's a Mustang 2 tail light, and I've got the pigtails and everything wired into the back of it for a little extra detail. And then let's see, let's turn it around here, and then right there's a look of it from the back. I'm really glad the way this thing turned out. It just looks awesome, and I think you guys gonna like it too, since some of the feedback I've gotten back on Facebook and everything on it. Let me pardon the shaking here, guys. Let me take this camera off this tripod, and I'll try to get a good view to the inside right there where you can see the interior of it. Alrighty. I'll try to get in here where you can see. We'll just walk right up to it. Alright, right there's the door panels. I used the 50 Mercury, or the 49 Mercury, Rebel Mercury door panels. They show just a little bit of detail in there, but I put some tissue paper over it and then painted it in. That way you give it the real wore out look. I made my own seats, my own bomber seats, out of aluminum cookie sheet. They turned out real well. That's the first set I ever made, so they turned out good. Now let me get maybe a picture here through the back window, and you can see the dash. Alright, there's the that's the dash and the steering wheel out of the 49 Mercury. I put my own gauges in there. Got speed limit signs for the tow boards on the firewall. Of course, the tunnel right there on the transmission is cut out, or never was put in. And then you can just barely see a tunnel right there for the drive shaft to cover it in case it comes apart. It's a caution sign, and I've got a Coca-Cola sign on one side of the floorboard for it. I don't know if, yeah, you can just barely tell there's a Coca-Cola sign there. And then I've got another caution sign right here for this side of the floorboard, which that really added a lot to it. Okay, right here you can see the window of the camper where it's been tore out. The screen has. Got the rust on the stovepipe. And there's my tires right here on top of the camper. That really added a good detail to it. So right here's the top view of the truck. Alrighty, a little bit closer detail here. There we go. The carburetors are the carburetors out of the 53 Bel Air kit. I painted the center section of those with the tester's signal yellow. The engine is just bright red, Folkart bright red, and right there you can see the wire coming off of the starter and going up to the distributor right there, or not distributor, the alternator. Had a brain fart. Alright, and you can tell where I smoked up the front window. I've done the same thing on the back too. Now, let me let y'all see the hitch that I made, and this will come apart. I used a straight pin with the round ball on top for the hitch ball. It's a good thing I had a lot of parts in the parts box. That way I can get this thing turned out where it looked good. I've got so many parts, I think I'm going to just build a bunch of rat rods just to empty them out just a little bit, free up some space. Let me get this thing back on the tripod, and I'll try to show you all the underneath of the truck and the trailer. Okay. Alrighty. Just pull this right here toward me just a little bit. There we go. Alright, there's the bottom of the camper, my scratch built frame, and then there's the bottom of the truck. It's just basic. That's all you need on a rat rod. So, alright guys, this is going on long enough, I guess. It'll take a while to get this thing uploaded, so y'all let me know what you think about this rig. I got this one in the books, and I don't have enough time. I was hoping I'd have enough time to get another build done to take to Atlanta. We're going to try to go down there this year. This will be my first year, and I was going to work on a dirty dotting van, but I just run out of time. Let that get away from me and everything like that, and I'm not going to rush on it. Just around 30 days to build it. I'm just not going to do it. Don't want to half do it. I want to build something that looks good. So this one right here will have to suffice. I know the theme is vans and wagons, I believe. And I've got a few wagons and at least one van I can take down there. So alright guys, let me know what y'all think about this, and I'll see you on the next one.